Well, alrighty. So once again, we got to talk about Doctor Who's confused showrunner in Russell T Davies, who's so confused right now that he doesn't even know where to defend this show because of its abject failure. The show has been abysmal, and its reviews and its rating has been totally abysmal. Matter of fact, if you take a look at Rotten Tomatoes right now, it is still sat at 27% with the audience score. Forget about the critics, because we all know what the critics do here. Even if they don't like stuff, they are bound to like it because they need to access, right? That's why we call them the access media. In any case, you guys, it's still sat at 27, and it was down to 22% at one point until certain people started coming in there to positively review bomb it upwards, because that's what they would say. That's what the access media would say if it had went down even further. They would have said people are negatively review bombing it. So in any case, you guys, regardless of the fact that the audience call or they were trying to review bomb it upwards, like review bomb it positively, we all know that this show's ratings was absolutely abysmal. It was so bad that even the showrunner could not deny it. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies confirms series is struggling with the audience, admits current numbers might not be the ratings that we'd love. This was him saying that because he knew that it was so abysmal. Didn't even show up on Nielsen ratings top 10 once. Not once. It was horrible. No matter how they tried to paint it, and they started making all sorts of excuses that the reason why people did not watch Shootigatwa's first episode was the weather was so good. So not bearing the fact that this guy has already claimed that he's sick of people celebrating white mediocrity when his show is absolutely mediocre. Matter of fact, worse than mediocre. And the same person came out to say, well, if you don't like my show, if you don't like the black gay doctor, go ahead and touch grass. And people decided, hey, not a bad idea. I'd rather touch grass or watch paint dry than watch this show, which is what they experienced. Now, the show is absolutely abysmal. And I told you guys the reason why they have been doing things like this, trying to push a message and become influencers, that they are actually more interested in influencing people, influencing culture, fighting the culture war, rather than actually giving us entertainment and escapism. And this particular article right here shows this, as Russell T Davies has admitted what is more important to him. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies claims that trans rights are 1,000,000 times more important than what's happening with Doctor Who. Now, this is a logical fallacy that he is trying to use to justify the reason why he made Doctor the way that he made it. Now, I want to dive into this article, share my opinion as we go along. Feel free to share your opinion in that comment section below. And please do not forget to smash the like button on this video. It is massively, massively important. Now, without further ado, here we go. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies recently claimed that trans rights are 1,000,000 times more important than what's happening with Doctor Who. Now I gotta ask, what are these trans rights? Other than two key things that I have noticed as far as the trans activists. Now I'm not talking about trans people in general. I'm talking about trans activists specifically that they have been fighting for are two key things. One, for trans people, or for male biological male to be in women's spaces, to be allowed into women's spaces. And how do you think this works out for women? Because if you actually allow that, if you buy into the ideology that gender is just a spectrum and not a binary system, then you can allow for men to actually go into women's spaces, because that's what's going to happen. Because now women have no definition and men will also not have any definition. Anybody who claims to be a woman can be a woman. And if that's the case, that means perverts and crazy people who do crazy things to women, who do bad things to women, can be allowed to just go in there. That's why we are seeing when biological male are put in female prisons, the female prisoners are getting either somewhat harassed or impregnated by these male prisoners. We've seen stories like this. And when it comes to them allowing them in public spaces, we've seen that the level of harassment has increased by, you know, heavy proportions, right, as it were. So these are the kind of rights that they are fighting for. The second right that they are fighting for is for biological male to compete in women's sports. In women's sports, that's what they are doing. And what's happening? They are disenfranchising women from their own sports, from their own spaces. So women who have worked really hard in their life to achieve things now get, you know, taken over, or their records get broken by people who have a physical advantage over them. So fairness is gone. That's why I say when it comes to the so-called trans rights, right? Quotation marks. Trans rights. Well, it's more about anti-women rights. You cannot be for both feminist or women's rights and trans rights at the same time, because those two are opposing views and they are opposing policies that is detrimental to one group of people in particular. And that group of people is the people whom we used to know as women. Let's continue. During an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con alongside Star Trek's Alex Kurtzman, who has also destroyed that particular franchise, Davies was asked by moderator Keisha Hatchett, with so many online opinions and fans having very strong feelings about your project, how do you play that balancing act of, yes, we want to do something that fans love, but also focusing on the story and getting it right and telling the best story that you possibly can? Well, the answer is short and simple. We don't care about the fans. We just want to push our agenda. That's it. That's all he should answer. But a confused Russell T Davies was just rambling and bambling at that particular question because he knew he cannot give his actual answer. And this is what he came up with. Check this out.
With so many online opinions and, fans having very strong feelings about your projects, how do you balance? How do you balance, play that balancing act of, yes, we want to do something that fans love, but also focusing on the story and getting it right and telling the best story that you possibly can?
Yes. I don't go online much. Maybe I should. Maybe that's wrong. I'm talking about Twitter, or X, as the port.
You don't go online much, but you definitely want to influence the online audience. And also, you're the one who said we're doing so well with the audience. And if you look at the dialogue happening online, which is your focus, this is something that he has said. If you look at the dialogue online, you will notice that more and more people are gearing towards this show that are younger, right? So you've said that, but now you're telling us that you don't go online much. Oh, yeah, sure.
Online. I don't feel particularly safe as a gay man, and increasingly I think that's worse in society.
Play the victim card. Of course, play the victim card. Yeah, these are all the same thing that we've seen time and time again with all of these people trying to push woke messaging in shows. Once their show doesn't do well, oh, I'm the victim. It's not my fault. It's the rest of the world that's just bigots. So the rest of the world, if things are unsafe for us today, that's why, right?
I see what's said out there, and that's a long discussion for the time, but I'm not happy to be part of that. So that's tricky. So that stops you on the line in many ways. Or we could spend whole life on there. So I get my agent tells me what's going on. I get people kind of here in every there's kind of osmosis with what's the culture wars or whatever kind of creep through. I'm much to be.
Notice the focus on the culture wars. Notice the focus on the culture wars. And this is the same guy who's saying, oh, I'm not online. So, right, you're a victim. You're scared. Can you point to anything that has happened to you online that has made you so scared in today's day and age? Matter of fact, I dare to say that it is people with common sense online that should be actually scared to be online, because language is being controlled online and you can't even speak normally. You can't even bring common sense reasoning online. You could be cancelled for actually speaking common sense, for speaking the truth, not my truth, not your truth, but the universal truth. That's what we are having online today. So those people are the people that should be scared of being online, not people like you, that the powers that be on social media and all this other Silicon Valley powerful, whatever you want to call them, are actually protecting, right? Because majority of them are woke. To
be honest, in terms of online activity, I'm much more interested in what's happening. I think Doctor Who's fine. Doctor Who, well, how can I say this? It's like, I think there are things happening in the culture wars, particularly with trans rights these days, that are a million times more important than what's happening.
Yeah, and so the big board goes up and says, hey, please clap and save this guy, man. He's drowning, because he had nothing else to say but just to mention something that's going to make people go, whoa, whoa. We all know how this show goes. He doesn't know what to say. Like, he's not even answering the question. How do you balance what people want with writing a good story? That's what you were asked. Nothing about trans rights, nothing about any of these things that you are rambling about, because nobody cares when they want to watch Doctor Who. Nobody cares about those things. Let me tell you what's more important than your so-called trans rights is the right of protecting innocent children and letting children be children, not exposing them to hypersexualization like you're trying to make them do today. I mean, look at what happened at the Olympics. They had a kid right next to a guy who had his balls hanging. Like, it's crazy. Exposing them to people who have BDSM, people who want to use chains and whips and so on and so forth. These are the sort of things that they are trying to fight for trans rights. Where are the people fighting for children's innocence rights? Where are they? Like, it's absolutely insane and disgusting what these people are trying to do, and they are trying to hide it all in the bid of trying to push some woke identity and saying that they are self-righteous and virtuous and fighting for the marginalized and the oppressed. Absolutely insane.
To be thought, and it's getting worse. It's terrifying. So.
Wait, so you're trying to tell me that in 2024, it is terrifying to be what? A member of these people who have a month dedicated to them, right? A member of the Alphabet community has a month dedicated to them. They have celebrations, they have shows, they have their flags flying everywhere, right? Right, very much next to the flags of the countries that are pushing these things. So how is it that it is terrifying today in 2024? Man, stop insulting our intelligence, man. Stop, just stop insulting our intelligence. These people, they lack talent in today's day and age. They absolutely lack talent. He knows this. He knows that what they have done to the Doctor Who show is absolutely horrendous, because what they did was they hijacked somebody's idea, they leached off its brand recognition, and then they whined when their talentless, self-serving version of the story got rejected by the fans. These are people who are just simply evil, nothing short of evil, and then they come out to claim that they are the ones who are actually the victims. It's absolutely absurd and it's insane. And these are my thoughts regarding this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ding that bell for notification, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, peace, and Saya's out. Bye-bye now.